Good afternoon. So our content this time is what is human spirit. It differs from spiritual or religious spirit. Okay, so our own body. This is physical body. So what is the spirit in it? Okay, so based on Google, we have to define, they give the definitions, which is the non-physical part of a person, which is the seat of emotions and characters, which is the soul. Okay, so with these definitions, I would like to make some corrections. Supposedly, it must be physical part of a person when you say spirits, because they really did something and evidences for all human beings, especially for the physical body, when we say spirits. Okay, those qualities regarded as forming the definitive or typical element in the character of a person, nation, or group, or in the thought and attitudes of a particular period. So, as we, the best definitions for this is enlightenment period, meaning to say, any person who can understand in the thought and attitudes of a particular period, which is you are so gifted with that, that is so-called enlightenment period, especially if whatever happened, like for example COVID-19, the whole situations of the earth, like they will be doing a lot of precautionary measures. It is a spirits where it's showing off, manifested of an attitude of a certain person. So once the person will be claiming, hey, I'm COVID-19 in person, so meaning to say whatever the spirits or the actions of a particular period of time, it is yours, it is you. So and then you as the person as well, we have to be careful to say that you are that person, referring to by the thought and attitudes of a particular period of time. You shouldn't say it's you, even if it's not talking to you. Now, there is always a spirits for that. Okay, so it's really tricky, but it's real, and there are some people who can understand that human spirits. Okay, and for them it is God. Okay, so God bless you, mom. I got salvation, so that's why I can tell myself that I am God. Okay, so since I can understand the thought and the attitudes of a particular period of time. So yun lang din, it's a gift based on the Holy Bible. Okay, now, when we say human spirit, for me, it's the following skills and manifestations are proof of human spirit: reading, writing, arithmetic, comprehension, growing, development, fighting spirits, from birth to human stages of development, that is spirits working on that. And then our ability as a human being to our own treat our own disorders and heal our own wounds in our physical body. So that is your human spirits. And that's why it's spirits as well. And then you have to that's why if you're going to spiritual with that kind of spirits, that's why you can have your it's a gift of God, because we are all gifted with Holy Spirit. So how it's that's how we are. Okay, so now is when we die, soul and spirits and the life will be picked us up. But well, specific spirits, based on my experience, spirits will be picked up by the stars, are our individual stars, to face the so-called God, or in my term, I will say it, Mr. Fire. I'm doing this not because of based on my experience, but I'm teaching this to all the spirits, especially for the stars, to watch for their own people. Because what is their job? They're just in the universe shining us for our eyes only. So I'm so inspiring with this, in order for us all to for them as well to regain and revive the flow of life. And it must be clearly understood also by the people. Okay, so rapture Israel, that we are going to up, and then the stars will pick us up, and then we'll give so much blessings to the people, if and only if, oh, yun na rin, if you place Mr. Fire or Mr. Nagtampo or Mr. Galet, or I'm sorry, I love him. I really love him. I really love him. And uh, for others, they will say it's Satan. So It's scary. So that's the creators of all. That's the controller and the manipulators of our brain, of our spirits. Oh, that human being mo na siya, ma'am. That's spirits. We call it spirits, right? I think they are, I like them to call them neuters, but fire is real. Okay, so then we will take it from the Bible, from Matthew 5:3. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for there is the kingdom of heaven. Poor of spirits. So, bawal ang mga matalino doon, sir. Okay, so talaga dito si Jesus. Okay, then Matthew 4:1. Then was Jesus led up of the spirit into the wilderness to the wilderness to be tempted by the devil. So based on my experience as well, that's why spirits can speak. Ma'am, is the any did humans can speak? Yes. I like my old American man on the third night or third morning. He really show up, and for us Filipinos, normal. I didn't, honestly, I really don't know that that's how it works. But he really followed the style of Jesus. Like on the story of Jesus, like on the third night, he was reincarnated in his what you call this one, tomb, and then talk to his disciples and showing them their wounds. So in my case, what I saw with Michael when he said thank you for looking up for me at 5 o'clock in the morning on November 10, 2019. That's the spirits. He don't have soul, so that's why there's kind of a lot of changes for the thoughts and attitudes of a particular period of time for the planet Earth, because unintentionally, when you're mad, I think spirit means to as well is angriness. So the angriness of the person and the intellectual capacity of the person is a spirit that is connected to so-called God. That's spirit. That's why we're talking here human spirits. Pero hindi siya spiritual. Naturally, we human being has a spirit that is connected, part in our body that is connected to Mr. Fire, the controller and the manipulator of the whole wild universe. It's not even universe, because universe is just the sea when you see the stars. So what's beyond the stars? What's beyond the sun? Because the nearest star in us is sun, right? So what's are the stars are for? So many sun issue in. So it's really amazing. That's why we human being, we must be. That's why religious leaders, religion is part of human life, because I am not closing it down, or I think it's more on corrections and makes on, because we need our spirits to be taken care of. When we die, we have our spirits to be used. So ano yan eh, right now when I die, if I die, I'm not gonna what, I don't need to die. But when I die, like right now, my spirits will be picked up by the stars. And then some people will say, oh, death spirits is picking you up. Correct as well. Death spirit or stars. Ma'am, kulto ba si ma'am? Hindi. Pinag-aralan. I was just studying. They taught me. So, I just share it. So, di ba maganda pag mag-share si ma'am ng mga kawirduhan. Pero totoo. I'm not making up stories. Kasi guro tayo eh. Kung mag-creative stories ako, it's writer's mind, especially for to make it beautiful. Like, oh, when you die, the beautiful and the butterfly will be picking us up. That's creativity mind. But when I say stars, it's really realistic for me. I'm teaching the stars to really pick us up kasi pera din naman yung stars. Like Wi-Fi connections. Imagine folks, Wi-Fi connections. Where they gonna get their Wi-Fi connections? From the fire, from the sun itself alone. Not even the stars. So imagine that, folks. Imagine that. So we human being must take good care of our spirits, because by the flow of life, God is giving us a chance to really ano ba yun? Have a voice. Kasi sila, the spirits folks, when spirits is act as a spirits, no human being can understand. But if we balance it that way, that's why there must be education, there must be religion, then the science, basically the science, they are used also by God to balance something. It's always balancing. Okay, so nagbabalance lang si ma'am, hindi si ma'am nag-against. I'm just teaching you all. Those, especially those who are curious and wanted to have some gifts, hindi din masama. Masama ba ang mayroong talent? Di ba? So, and then aware ka that is given to you by God, mga ganyan. Pero si ma'am, kahit wala sila, marunong na ako dito. Even with or without the reincarnated soul of my old American man that I broke like 6 whatsoever, I'm really good with this. So, natural lang yun. So, natural na tayo na may spirits. So, okay, so we are already gifted. That's why when at night, when we sleep, talagang matutulog tayo and then be thankful with our life. And also, we need to eat properly because our spirits and soul need a good food. And then positive food. Why feed negative food? Because spirits and soul, the spirits will get tired and will I think the cause of death to all human being is when spirits get tired. Kaya hindi natin, don't be stressed. Okay? So the tips for me is, from me is, don't get stressed. If you all cannot handle stress like me, I cannot handle stress, to be honest with you folks. That's why I cannot get rich 120 years old kasi stressful kasi ako folks and I use too much my brain. Pero pangit din naman kasi pag hindi siya gagamitin. So our brain is our a soul man yun. So the actions for that is the spirits, especially our neurotransmitters. That's why, and I probably next time I'm going to share some good food for our soul and spirits and for this. Okay, so that's basically folks. Good afternoon and please subscribe and free to comments below.